In the beginning, the music made the friendships, and now the friendships make the music.
That's a good point, Jim. We set out to create a kind of folklore for the coast, and we've hung around so long, people say we're part of the folklore now.
That's right, Don. And the coast is still our inspiration, our subject, and the lead character of our show.
Bland, why don't you tell the people about tonight's featured nonprofit?
Folks, we've done a lot of shows for the Core-Sound Waterfowl Museum and Heritage Center at the end of the road on Harker's Island. It's a place where Core-Sound traditions are lived and shared every day, all year long. A gathering place for people of coastal Carolina and their stories, their music, and way of life, past and present. We are happy to devote and dedicate tonight's King Mackerel and the Blues Are Running to the Core-Sound Waterfowl Museum and Heritage Center.
The Carolina coast. Whether you grew up there, vacationed at the beach with your family as a kid, or discovered its charms just last year, if you've spent time down east, you'll always carry with you some of that coastal magic. Like shag dancing,
Pier fishing,
Joyriding,
yeah.
ghosts,
Hurricanes,
shifting sand,
shipwrecks,
shag dancing,
Maurice
Yeah.
Williams and the Zodiacs.
the reproductive habits of the bluefish.
Whoa, my.
Folks, we've got all that and more. We call our show King Mackerel and the Blues Are Running. And I want to tell you that we couldn't have done it without a lot of help from some special people who understand what we're talking about. We want to thank Carolina Power and Light. They've got the power to lead. Vanguard Cellular One for the way you live and work. And we sure want to thank viewers like you.
King Mackerel.
And the Blues Are Running.
And the Blues Are Running.
You know they are. Evening, folks. Good evening. I'm Bland Simpson of the Coastal Cohorts. Welcome to King Mackerel. Now, folks, down on the coast.
Hey, Bland!
Whoa! Comes our mystic fisherman, cohort Jim Wan. Jim, what have you got there?
Oh, Bland, this is a big old king mackerel, denizen of the fathomless depths. 43 pounds, 11 ounces.
Nice work.
You know me. The hook's wet. I'm happy.
Cohorts.
Whoa,
Cohorts.
Dixon.
Hey, Dixon.
And speak about a real force of nature. Here's our rhythm and blues cohort, Don Dixon. Boys,
Row-ho, goggle-eyes, Zebco man. Catch them fish as good as you can. Raise the corn cake.
tide rolls in, tide rolls out. The summertime is just about gone. All that's left to think about is the fishing coming on. Who's got the latest information? Coast Guard or charter boat cruise?
Could be the kid down at the filling station saying, buddy, have you heard the news?
Hey buddy, have you heard the news? King Mackerel and the Blues are running all along the coast.
Talk about fishing,
You can't give the fish away. Everybody's lucky. October and the moon is coming, but the clouds won't give up the ghost. Oh, let the good weather hold one more day. Here on the Outer Banks, winds are currently from the northeast, 10 to 15 knots. Coast Guard has lifted yesterday's small craft warnings from Cape Henry to Cape Fear. Seas are running 1 to 2 feet above normal, though, so stay tuned to the Weather Channel. Ocean temperature off Hatteras, Core Banks, averaging 68 degrees. Air temperature probably won't break a high of 60. But it's a beautiful day all along the Carolina coast, and our reports are the fishing's excellent.
King Mackerel and the blues are running all along the coast. We talk about fishing, you can't give the fish away. Everybody's lucky, October and the moon is coming, but the clouds won't give up the ghost. Oh, let the good weather hold one more day.
Wake up, we're moving out. Four-wheel drive will take us where we're going, yeah. If it don't, we're missing out. You wanna be there before dawn.
But when the sun is finally set, there's sand in everybody's shoes, yeah.
Cooler's full of fish, there ain't nobody fretting, no, it's
Hey buddy, have you heard the news? King Mackerel and the blues are running all along the coast. We talk about fishing, you can't give the fish away. Everybody's lucky, October and the moon is coming, but the clouds won't give up the ghost. Oh, let the good weather hold one more day. Let the good weather hold.
Let it
Let the good weather hold.
Let the good weather
hold. One more day.
Now, folks, we've all spent a lot of time down around the coast. Let's get our satellite to click in. Take a look at Core-Sound, Lake Mattamuskeet, Pamlico Sound, Cedar Island. Let's zoom in on old Corn Cake Inlet. Yeah, come right down there. That's where my cohorts, Jim Wan and Don Dixon, and I like to spend a lot of our time. Down at Corn Cake, we like to stay at the old Corn Cake Inlet Inn. The Corn Cake is kind of rustic, we know that, but the alternative is pretty busy. We like that unspoiled, relaxed, edge-of-the-sea experience, and we really like and admire Miss Mattie Jewell. She's been running the Corn Cake for 35 years. She feeds us right, 8:30, 12:30, 6 o'clock, be on time. Fishing is great around the Corn Cake, you can see that. Kids like it out there, out on the old wooden fishing pier, and there's just plenty to do to amuse yourself, or you can just sit back and relax. Do be careful where you sit, though. You'll be all right. About the only drawback down our way is, well, every fall it's the high winds and heavy surf of hurricane season. You can see a hurricane coming from a long way off, but once it gets there, there's just not much you can do about it. Every fall there's a danger, and last fall it got us. Blew the roof off the Corn Cake Inlet Inn, ruined the old wooden fishing pier. Now, we're trying to raise the cash to help Miss Mattie build it back like it was, because if she can't, she's going to have to sell out to the Greedhead Development Corporation. We can't let that happen. I want to thank you all. Ticket proceeds and all go into this. We're going to get it built back like it was so we can get back to doing what we do best, fishing.
Well, you've been fishing all your life, Bland.
Jim, I was born fishing. A little town called Elizabeth City, North Carolina,
Get the map.
on the banks of the Pasquotank River as it rolls down to Albemarle Sound.
Right there.
Sound side.
Right, or as the old-timers refer to it, Soundsoid. Corn Cake Inlet, of course, is right out on the Atlantic Ocean.
Right there.
The cutting edge.
Actually, there was no inlet at Corn Cake until 1938. Hurricane Jane opened her up. Till then, Corn Cake was known ecologically as a haven for horseshoe crabs.
Bland, the horseshoe crab isn't a crab at all. It's a spider. It's a giant spider with a helmet and a spine.
I want to thank you all for coming out tonight to help us raise the Corn Cake.
Late at night, armies of them come out to crawl.
Don, you keep on like this, nobody's going to want to come to the Corn Cake once it's raised.
Bland, the horseshoe crab's endangered. It's an endangered species.
Endangered by the greedheads. Greedheads.
This is what we're up against, folks.
Greedhead sees a big high rise when he's looking at a stretch of sand.
He ain't thinking about wind or tide or anything nature planned.
No, not anything.
nature planned.
Greedhead sees a barrel of bucks 15 stories tall.
He ain't thinking about the geese and the ducks who won't come back in the fall.
No, they won't come back in the fall. Oh, there's a safe harbor when the clouds are gathering. If we can raise the corn cake
inlet in.
Yeah, there's a safe harbor where you can meet a friend. So raise a glass to the corn cake
inlet in.
Greedhead sees a passel of yachts and guys with a lot of gold chains.
Cohort sees a clean fishing spot, and that's the way it's gotta remain.
That's the way
It's gotta remain.
Greedhead sees a high-span bridge and toll booth turnstiles.
Cohort sees a big sand dune ridge and nothing for miles and miles.
No, not nothing.
Nothing for miles and miles.
Oh, there's a safe harbor when the clouds are gathering. If we can raise the corn cake
inlet in.
Yeah, there's a safe harbor where you can meet a friend. So raise a glass to the corn cake
inlet in.
Miss Jewel will serve you 3 good meals, but you gotta be there on time. Phone on the wall for a local call, and she won't take your dime. She's been our friend for all these years. Corn cake in can't disappear. We gonna help out all we can. We want you folks to understand we're
Singing out tonight just so you'll know
that the
coastal cohorts are on the road.
Well, there's a
Safe harbor
when the clouds are gathering.
so safe.
We can raise the corn cake
inlet in.
Yeah, there's a
Safe harbor
where you can meet a friend.
Sing it,
Good
man.
friend. Raise a glass to the corn cake
inlet in.
You know what I really miss about the corn cake is the food.
Oh, yeah. Miss Mattie's blackened bluefish with hush puppies and slaw.
The Halloween oyster roast with hush puppies and slaw.
The crab derby with hush puppies, but hold the slaw. You know, I could just eat the crab derby up back before there got to be too few crabs in the Sound.
Greed heads, messing with the natural order of things.
You know, Miss Mattie always says the natural order of things is to dine right and dine on time.
And we've kind of adopted that as a cohort motto. Dine right.
And dine on time.
It starts with a plant at the bottom of the sea, something green and slimy. Free lunch for Walter Flea. House salad at the bottom of the sea. Up swims a shrimp and eats that flea. Maybe he gets lucky and he eats 2 or 3, but that mighty sardine is the shrimp's downfall. When it hits my cracker, I'm eating them all, 'cause I'm the king of the food chain. Yeah. Well, the big black bass got to watch his back, looking out for a shark attack, but that shark will score, you know that it will. Let it wind up on my grill.
Hear the king yell.
Come on, baby, ring my dinner bell.
Red snapper, calamari, northern pike.
You know I never met a meal I did not like, 'cause I'm the king.
He's the king.
I'm the king of the food chain.
King of the food chain.
Yeah,
King of the food chain.
I'm the king.
He's the king.
I'm the king of the food chain.
King of the food chain. King of the food.
Clam fritters, clam chowder, oysters on the half shell, group of fingers does her thing. And nature has declared that I'm the king.
Yes, he's the king.
I'm the king.
He's the king. King of the food chain.
King of the food chain. King of the food chain. I'm the king.
He's the king. King of the food chain.
King of the food chain. Food chain, chain, chain. Chain of food. Oh yeah, oh, oh. Food chain, chain, chain. Chain of food. Oh yeah, oh, 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 yeah. Food chain, chain, chain. Chain of food. Oh yeah, oh. Food chain, chain, chain. Chain of food. King of the food chain.
Miss Maddie's cooking was so good. I remember the first time I was ever on the coast. Must have been about 10 or 11 years old. I came over with my family, and a whole bunch of us were staying down on Half Moon Island. But when we heard about the table Miss Maddie set, why, we all just moved on up to the corn cake. Now, that summer, I palled around with a girl named Georgia Rose. She was a little older than I was, and she was into all kinds of things I had never even considered. That's right. Metaphysical things. And one day we were walking in the dunes, and out of the blue she said, "Let's dig here." Inside of 5 minutes I had turned up this carved stone point of a spear. And I said, "Georgia Rose, this is old. Where'd it come from, you reckon?" She said, "From that place in the sea where all the lost things wind up." I said, "Come on, an Indian made this." She said, "Sure, he made it. But he lost it, didn't he? Just like you're going to lose it." I said, "I'm never going to lose this." But I did. I found a spear point in the sand. It felt almost alive in my hand. Oh, timeless, where is the man who stood still waiting for a flash in the water right where I stand? Oh, timeless, where is the man? Found a conch shell washed up on shore. Nothing inside where there once was before. Oh, timeless, is there more? When I put the shell to my ear in the dark, I can hear you roar. Oh, timeless, is there more? Oh. When the moon makes a ribbon on the water, it's a highway to ride. Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side. Over that horizon, someday I'll abide. Timeless as the tide.
Beaches are moving year after year. Sand shifting with the tide. You know that man's time will disappear, but the wind and the water still abide.
Found a spear point in the sand. It felt almost alive in my hand. Oh, timeless, where is the man who stood still waiting for the moon on the water right where I stand? Oh, timeless, where is the man?
The water still abide.
Where is the man?
Wind and the water still
Did he go where the lost things
worn out on the tide. The wind and the water, the wind and the water, the wind and the water still abide.
Blaine,
Hey, yeah, Jim?
what is that? Sounds like a hellacious outboard motor.
I think it's the hellacious diesel on the headboat, Jim.
Oh, the head boat.
Oh, come on. Man cannot live by spear point alone.
No.
Let's go fishing.
Yeah. Deep sea fishing.
Deep sea.
Get out on that head boat, right?
Out on it.
$10 a head. Anybody want to go? Yeah, okay, good. All right. How about you, Bland?
Sign me up.
Don't forget the Dramamine. Trolling in the Gulf Stream, 90 miles east. Sun climbing high and the bait's down deep. Everybody's searching for that cooler of brew. I left it sitting in the Subaru.
Ain't that something?
Ain't it something for the birds to pick?
Ain't that something?
Ain't enough to make a fisherman sick. How come I always get the end of that stick where there's nothing but something for the birds to pick? I hooked up on a marlin, a record book size. Fought in 5 hours with the sweat in my eyes. Down in the water, something hungry and dark. My marlin made a dinner for a hammerhead shark.
Ain't that something?
Ain't it something for the birds to pick?
Ain't that something?
Ain't enough to make a fisherman sick. How come I always get the end of that stick where there's nothing but something for the birds to pick? Back at the landing, I was too sick to stand. I spent a month's wages for a third-degree tan. The captain kind of grinned as he collected his pay. He said,
You boys should have been here about a week ago last Thursday.
Ain't that something?
ain't it something for the birds to pick?
Ain't that something?
Ain't enough to make a fisherman sick. How come I always get the end of that stick where there's nothing but something for the birds to pick?
Fishing. That's all you boys ever think about.
Well, yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't go to the beach to fish. I went to the beach to cruise. All along the main drag from Ocean Drive to Myrtle Beach, there'd be hundreds, thousands of us with our pre-1973 Arab oil crisis embargo attitudes. Driving along on our 327 Chevys, 394 barrel Fords, 4 or 5 miles an hour. Big old engines get so hot you gotta prop up the hoods with beer cans.
Prop up the hoods with beer cans?
Yeah, so the air could get to the engine.
You got it, Jim.
Wait a minute, Don. Back then you didn't even have a car.
I kind of had a car. See, my grandmama lived in Conway, South Carolina, and I used to use her car. She had a great car, a 1963 T-Bird that she won at bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo. There was one problem. I had to back it from Conway to Ocean Drive so the mileage would not show up on the speedometer.
How far was that, Don?
It's about 17 miles, Bland.
Joy.
Come on, I didn't do it every night, just Wednesdays when she was at prayer meeting. I would only keep it an hour or two, 3 at the most. I was always home by dawn.
Joyride, joyride, we're going on joyride, 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 we're going on joyride.
I don't care if it takes $30 to fill up the tank.
Joyride,
That money won't do me no good sitting in the bank.
joyride,
When it's all said and done, you got to have your fun. I can't be the only one to joyride.
joyride, 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 joyride. We're going on joyride.
I said
Joyride, joyride,
joyride.
we're going on joyride.
Your radio will play our favorite songs. Ooh, how I love to sing along.
Ooh la la la, ooh la la la, ooh.
is cold.
Joyride.
Yes, we'll put the rag top down and take off through the town. How I love to ride around.
Joyride.
Joyride.
Joyride, joyride. We're going on a joyride. Say it. Joyride, joyride. We're going on a joyride. Say it. Joyride.
Got the joy, 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 joy.
We're going on a joyride. Say it. Joyride, joyride.
Joyride.
We're going on a joyride.
We got our car stuck in the sand. It's there for good, but that's okay. It is? No. There's just one thing, yeah, I don't understand.
What's that?
Whose idea was this, anyway?
Whose idea was it to go for a ride down at the beach at the dead low tide?
I mean, it's been fun, but we could have stayed home.
Could have stayed at the cottage, could have stayed at the house.
High tide in the middle of the night. 888 don't answer calls way up here, am I right?
Right.
So
Whose idea was this anyway? What are we gonna tell Grandma?
I don't know.
He don't know.
they don't know.
What are we gonna tell the owner of the car?
Those boys, taking that poor old woman's car and driving it into the ocean. They were scratching off on the hard sand, ma'am, and I believe they scratched too hard. That car was sucked under.
Sucked
At the artificial reef.
under.
Yep. Well, now those boys gonna be pulling 250 hours of community service apiece.
Doing what?
Parking cars.
Whose idea was it to go on a spree? The joyriding by the edge of the sea.
I mean, it's been fun, but we should have stayed home.
Should have stayed at the cottage, should have stayed at the house.
High tide in the middle of the night. That car's an artificial reef from now on, am I right? It's a reef.
So whose idea was this anyway? Hey, hey, hey. Whose idea was this anyway?
Well, I was parking one night at the fishing pier, holding my baby so close, so near. I heard this noise, what could it be? It's old Hubcap stripping my tires off me. I said, Hubcap, don't you do that stuff. He said,
Three's a crowd, but four's enough. You can just give me a little more time. I can sell your wheels at your county line.
whoa, people, you don't never know
Who you gonna meet? Who's gonna show what it is, what it's gonna be?
way down yonder, but
Down by the edge of the sea. Oh,
Oh. Well, I remember when surfing hit the East Coast, everybody wanting to do it the most. Down Nag's Head where we once went, a fella named Gov had boards for rent. He said,
Boys, I tell you what I'll do. I'll even throw in free lessons, too.
he didn't say what made this sport so rough. The Carolina waves ain't big enough. Whoa, people, you don't never know
who you gonna meet? Who's gonna show what it is, what it's gonna be?
way down yonder, but
Down by the edge of the sea. Oh.
Another thing about Gov, he had this motel. Well, it was 4 rooms anyway, and 2 of them were suite rooms, connected not by a door, Ruby, but by he took a sledgehammer and knocked a hole in the wall. We rented the suite. $20 cash, put it down on the counter, went on down to check into our room. That's when we found out no plumbing. Went back to the front desk to complain, but by then Gov had already converted our cash into several cases of beer sitting out in the Jeep. He said, oh, boys, well, come take a ride with me in the Jeep, I'll explain. So we took a ride with him in the Jeep. Time we got back 3 or 4 hours later, we just didn't care anymore.
Well, I liked Miss Maddie's better anyway.
No, we were telling you about Miss Mattie Jewell.
Oh, she's shot.
She ain't nobody's fool.
She can run that old hotel, and everybody loves her dinner bell. Long come a hurricane, powerful big, knocked down her pier like a bunch of twigs. She said,
Boys, don't you worry about a thing. We'll be back in business
by next spring. Whoa, people, you don't never know who you gonna meet, who's gonna show what it is, what it's gonna be. Way down yonder, but down by the edge of the wall, people, you don't never know who you gonna meet, who's gonna show what it is, what it's gonna be.
Way down yonder,
Down by the edge of the sea.
down by the edge of the sea. We met one summer on Half Moon Island. She was 13, I was 11 at least. I knew there was something different about Georgia Rose by the way she held her arms out to the dark blue sea. On our bikes, we'd see the postman, Mr. Murdoch. He'd holler out, "Hey kids, how's the ride?" One day Georgia Rose said she saw a cloud around him. Next morning we heard Mr. Murdoch had a heart attack and died. Georgia Rose came to me and said, "Don't tell. It's been going on so long I can't turn it off. I see things that are going to happen. I hate it, I can't help it, it's not my fault. Go home and cry your eyes out, it'll do no good, you know. You're born to see the future if your name is Georgia Rose." But we didn't say anything about it the rest of the summer. Vacation ended and we drove home to our different towns. I went to Woolworth's and bought my first stationery. Box of blue with a blue stripe, box of brown with a brown. Georgia Rose sent me these neat, chatty letters, until one day in February a scrawled card came. Unlike the rest, it said, "Don't worry about your father, he'll be much happier, don't fear, no one's to blame." The next morning, Daddy gathered us around him, said he was in love and he was going away. He hugged us and cried and drove out the drive. We went on to school, it was Valentine's Day. Go home and cry your eyes out, it'll do no good, you know. You're bound to feel the future if your friend is Georgia Rose. We didn't write anymore then, and it was a long, long time before I saw her again. August 21st at the corn cake. It was my birthday, friends were with me. Sitting on the screen porch, celebrating. Off in the dunes I saw a woman stretch her arms out to the sea. I left the party and walked out to her. She said without turning, "What took you so long?" In her eyes I saw a great ruined beauty. In that instant, who knows what it was she saw. Georgia Rose lived with me for a time out of time. We had a passion that was all in all. One day her eyes changed and I knew she was saying, "I hate it, I can't help it, it's not my fault, no." Go home and cry your eyes out, it'll do no good, you know. You're gonna lose the future if your love is Georgia Rose.
Time passed, and I found a new woman. Maybe that's what Georgia Rose saw. One day I spied her on the main street of my city. She was trying to pretend I was someone she didn't know. I said, Georgia Rose, and she turned back to me. With her hair gone stringy and circles underneath her eyes, she said, I'm on my way to meet my new husband. I don't see that he changes, lies, or dies. She said, I'm not in love, but I don't care. Maybe that's the way it has to be. I deserve a life and a future too. I deserve not to see. Go home and cry your eyes out. It'll do no good, you know. You're born to see the future if your name is Georgia Rose. Go home and cry your eyes out. It'll do no good, you know. You're born to see the future if your name is Georgia Rose. Georgia Rose. Georgia Rose. Georgia Rose.
I'm going away, baby. Shrimp boats on the bay, darling. Wild ponies in motion, hoof prints in the sand by the ocean. Like those wild ponies, I long to be running with the breeze in my face, baby. Trade winds are calling, oh, those wild ponies on the run. I'm setting my cap, baby, for a treasure map, darling. I'm gonna find something, and I know for sure one thing. Like those wild ponies, I got a mind to ramble with the sun on my neck, baby. Far hills are calling, oh, those wild ponies on the run.
Oh, those wild ponies on the run.
Oh, those wild ponies on the run. Taking off in a new direction,
Making tracks where I never have gone.
I believe it's an affliction, a seizure to roam. I'm touching the fire, baby, a condition of mine, darling. Something so soothing that goes along with me moving. Like those wild ponies, we can run together. Come along and we'll start, baby. It's good for our hearts. Oh, those wild ponies on the run.
Oh, those wild ponies on the run.
Oh, those wild ponies on the run. Wild ponies on the run.
The future has been known to happen on the coast with a certain suddenness. Now, back in 1903, a telegram went out from Kitty Hawk, where two young men from Ohio had been camping out and tinkering with a homemade glider.
Wilbur?
Orville? The telegram read,
Success! 4 flights Thursday morning, all against 21-mile wind.
Started from level with engine power alone.
Average speed through air, 31 miles.
Longest, 57 seconds. Inform press. Home Christmas. Now, the figures were a little wrong because the telegraph operator misread Orville's hasty penciled scrawl. But the fact remains that two young bicycle mechanics had designed, constructed, and flown for the first time ever a practical airplane.
One time down at Kitty Hawk, Jim and I found a small, rusty electric motor that somebody had pitched out into the sand. We were pretty sure we could build an airplane out of this piece of trash. We were about 8 years old at the time. But lacking the skills and perseverance of the Wright brothers, we gave up after a couple of days. Well, if we couldn't fly, at least we could jump and roll on the sand dunes. And our favorite, of course, was the biggest, the great sand mountain called Jockey's Ridge. I walked up there with my father, one of my earliest memories of him, in fact. The wind was really blowing, sand stinging my legs. It hurt, and I was crying. Well, he picked me up and sang me a song and made me feel better. We were climbing up that big tawny hill. Looked like it was blowing away, but it's 25 years ago to the day, and it's still right where we left it, right where it was. So Papa, here's your sand mountain song. I'll be along in a while. We'll be going in style in that old 52 Dodge to somebody's tumble-down hunting lodge. We'll be singing your old sand mountain song. We were trying hard to batten the house. Hurricane about to happen our way. You said this was when the captain would say, "Hey, shorty, tell us a story. Tell us a tale." So, Papa, here's your sand mountain song. I'll be along in a while. We'll be going in style in that old 52 Dodge to somebody's tumble-down hunting lodge. We'll be singing your old sand mountain song. Somewhere there's a ship under sail, a lighthouse shining and a big blue whale. Fish cooking a fire on the beach. They say there's treasure way down in the deep. That's why we were climbing up that big tawny hill, just to see what we could see. Look right out over the main, waves breaking again and again. Still they keep on rolling, still rolling in, just like back then. So Papa, here's your sand mountain song. I'll be along in a while. We'll be going in style in that old 52 Dodge to somebody's tumble-down hunting lodge. We'll be singing your old sand mountain song. Talking this way, I said, oh, I reckon I don't mind talking. I'm born on the sound side, and so's my wife, so's my wife. Sound side, ooh, sound side life. No telling me it's better out there. I said, no telling me it's better. I live on the sound side. Sound side, so's my wife, so's my wife. Sound side, ooh, sound side life. When the wind starts blowing and the white cap's showing, well, you better start stowing away. If you're out in the open, well, you better start hoping the storm ain't sloping your way. Here in the marshes where I always hide,
hop in your car and get rolling. Roll on down to see me some toy. Get rolling. Roll on down to see I live on the sound side. Sound side. So's my wife. So's my wife. Sound side. Ooh, sound side life. Woo! Sound side, ooh, sound side life. Yes, sound side, ooh, sound side life.
Be a hoy-toy on the sound side tonight.
Sound side, ooh, sound side life.
All right, it's time to play bingo. Let's play bingo. Everybody got a card? Everybody. All right. Now, we play bingo at the Corn Cake the way it's played the world over. Still, we're going to review the rules just a second. 4 up, 4 across, 4 diagonal, either diagonal direction. Go on and put one of your dots there from the bottom of the page onto your free fish space in the middle. You'll be ahead of the game. And if you get that magic 5 in a row, holler out bingo at the top of your lungs so we can identify you and acquaint you with your winnings, which would be what, Jim?
Well, tonight's lucky bingo winner will be treated to an all-expenses-paid weekend at the newly refurbished Corn Cake Inlet Inn. And not just any room, the fabulous new Jupiter Suite comes complete with its own private flush bucket and flounder-shaped jacuzzi.
All right, now we're playing bingo tonight on an original 1938 bingo ball ping pong puffer. It's the oldest and it's the only one of its vintage still in operation on the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Yeah.
How's it looking here, Jim?
Well, it's been in storage for a little while, but I think it's going to do just fine. Circuits are circulating.
Let's play bingo!
Play bingo! Hey!
I don't know, it's looking a little rickety. Under the B4, B4.
Rotate! Okay, hum babe. Down the pipe. There you go.
Made you work for it that time.
That puffer almost came off its moorings that time. All right.
Good.
Yes, sir. What's going on? N34. This is N34. Check it out. All right.
Rotate.
He's crab walking. What's wrong with this thing?
I don't know, did it break?
It's not acting right.
You're going the wrong way, Dixon. Go the other way.
Oh my God!
This is terrible.
Boys, the puffer is down.
We really apologize. We hope to run a good game here, and we hope to get a legitimate winner. Now, Jim, we got a room full of winners here, really.
Yeah. A lot of disappointed faces, but a room full of winners.
Isn't there anything we could do for them
Sure there is,
in the
Bland.
wake of this disaster?
We got it right here.
Oh!
Rubber worms!
Yeah, man!
Here's a backhand for my tennis buddies.
When they say God bless you, it's time to end the game. Folks, that's cohort bingo.
You know, that vacation at the Corn Cake sounds great, but Don, when you really look at this, it's a nice prize for somebody.
I don't know. That worm's not much. It doesn't compare at all to those mechanical horseshoe crabs we got at the pavilion that time.
Oh, yeah, we'd gone down there to hear, who was it, the showman?
The Tams.
Cadillacs.
No, it was the Showman.
The Tams.
Cadillacs.
No, it was Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs.
That's right. Dance in the Shag.
Right. With those girls from Carolina Beach. Then we took 'em riding in the swamp, looking for the Mako light.
And then next day we went fishing.
Right. But wait, Kingfish. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to the shag.
Oh, yeah, the Shag. Do you boys remember what you used to call me?
The Sheik of
Very
Shag.
chic.
Look at that boy, man. He's got it down.
Yeah. Well, Don, I wonder when he's going to introduce us to his date.
That's the best looking date he ever had.
You pay no attention to them, darling. I'll see you after the show.
Oh, yeah. After the show, he'll be over there next to the big fish with a low sodium V8 and some fat-free chips. Just getting down. Sand on my flip-flop,
Flop,
hang ten, staying at the tip-top,
top.
beaching, or beach music. My bag, find me a beach girl and do the shag, shag, baby, with your partner, shag, baby, by the sea. Oh, would you shag with me? Well, come on, y'all, and shag, baby, at the beach club, shag, baby, would you stay? Shagging the night away. Slicks with their Corvettes, let 'em cruise. I'll be betting on my shagging shoes. Whoa, it's easy to do it half right. The band keeps improving, you can shag all night now. Shag, baby, with your partner, shag, baby, by the sea. Oh, would you shag with me? Well, come on, girl, and shag, baby, at the beach club, shag, baby, would you stay? Shagging the night away. When the band is taking a break, we'll stroll out on the sand. You laugh at all the things I say, and I'll take hold of your hand in the dunes now. Oh, Myrtle Beach is never out of reach when we're shagging the night away. All right, everybody, come on, sing it with me one time. Shag, baby, that's right, with your partner, shag, baby, yeah, by the sea. Oh, would you shag with me? That's good, that's good. Now just keep on singing, keep on. Shag, baby, at the beach club, shag, baby, would you stay? Shagging the night away. Shag, baby.
Is this it? Is this the spot where you saw him?
Yeah, Jim. It was about 200 yards down the railroad tracks there. It's all right, Jim. That ghost has never hurt anybody. Yet.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of a wreck on the railroad line. A A brakeman lost his life and his head, but his lantern still shines. Now some say it's swamp gas or automobiles, explaining that light that appears on the track. But Dr. Hans Holzer says that ghost is real, 'cause it keeps on coming back. In a dismal swamp of East Carolina, 1867, one dark night, a brakeman named Joe Baldwin was riding the coastal line. Quarter to midnight railroad time, the train is pulling into Mako town. Just a wide place along the track for old Joe's lantern to shine. He's shining the Mako light, shining the Mako light. Just a wide place along the track, shining the Mako light.
Suddenly Joe feels something wrong. This train slowed down a bit too long. Every brakeman's nightmare, the caboose had gotten loose. The rest of the train had faded up front. Here come a fast freight up from behind. Two lights on a collision course. Will they see old Joe in time? He starts waving the Mako light, waving the Mako light. Two lights on a collision course, waving the Mako light.
Freight train smashes old Joe's caboose. A kerosene lantern soars in a flash. High above the twisted rails, it burns on in the pines. They found Joe's body, they found Joe's head. They buried them both, but he's not dead.
He's not
on
dead.
a dismal night in a dismal swamp, you can see that lantern shine.
Shining the Mako light, shining the Mako light. On a dismal night in a dismal swamp, shining the Mako light.
Summer nights in the mist and fog, when no other lights are seen in the sky, you wonder what bothers a barking dog, and you wait for the Mako light. You sit on the track with your bag of beer.
Something's gonna happen.
Something gonna happen, can't be explained. 100 years that ghost has appeared, and you know he's coming, coming again. Waiting for the Mako light. Ooh, waiting for the Mako light. Sitting on the track with your bag of beer, waiting for the Mako light. Waiting now, waiting for the Mako light. Ooh, waiting for the Mako light. Sitting on the track with your bag of beer, waiting for the Mako light. Next day we went fishing, and I have never seen fish strike like that. We're catching them all on rebels right on top of the water. Not reeling, just throw the rebel out under a big old willow bush. And the water was gin clear. You could see a fish come up and point it, just like a bird dog, stop about 3 feet under the lure.
Half the time we get so nervous waiting for the strike, we'd jerk the thing out of the water before the fish ever had a chance to get it.
But if you left it in there, he'd point it just for a second. Then he'd go on it, like that.
Bet we caught 23 bass in 2 hours.
And after a while, I got hung up in the willow bush, as I inevitably do. Got my lure caught in it. And I said, damn, I'm going to snatch it off.
But Don said,
Don't snatch that lure.
By then, I already had it in mid-snatch. And the double bow action of that willow bush and my rod brought that thing back at me so fast. I remember looking. It was like a scene from Bonnie and Clyde, as though the camera had freeze-framed for one moment. I saw that big old rebel coming back at me with all feet pointing forward with barbs on them. And I couldn't get my head but about a quarter of a turn. It dug in, went through the earlobe with one set of treble hooks, and down under my eye next to the bone beside my nose with the other. Well, Bland took one look at me and said,
You are hung. The barbs are down under the skin. No way to get them out. We're going to have to go to the hospital.
Well, this distressed Don to no end because for once he didn't want to quit fishing. He said,
I got a knife. Maybe I can dig it out.
That rusty thing? It's got fish guts all over it. Oh, that's going to make it clean.
Trust me,
Get
I will
that
take
thing
care
away
of
from my
Don was
face.
dead serious. He'd have carved Jim's face off. Without malice, of course, but we wouldn't let him. So we had to drive to the hospital at, where was it, Swan Quarter?
Bellhaven.
Bellhaven's where we had to drive to.
And I had to sit there in the car like an idiot, big old silver topwater rebel dangling off the side of my head.
Now, this was back before men commonly wore earrings. So everybody that drive by, they'd all look over at Jim.
Finally, we got to the hospital, and they're changing shifts. Nobody can see us. So I had to sit there in the waiting room in high dudgeon and righteous indignation. Women were bringing their kids in there, pointing at me and whispering.
Now, children, this is what happens when these drunken college boys come down here to fish and roll in their tackle boxes. Come on, I'll protect you. Come on, it's okay.
Finally got in. Got one of these clowns for a doctor. Jovial Joe type.
I can always tell when the season begins. Y'all hanging yourselves more than you are fish. Now I know that lure cost $1.75 because I'm a tarpon fisherman myself, and mine cost even more than that. But I'm a doctor. I can afford it. But I'm going to get that lure out of your head without hurting you or the lure, either one.
I said, well, that's great, but if it comes to hurting the lure, well, just go ahead and grind it up. Well, he did a nice, neat little operation. First, he touched Novocaine, where the barbs went in. Next, he enlarged each hole with a stylus. Finally, he hooked a section of dental floss around the whole thing and just jerked, and it came right out. After it was all over, the doctor, he said,
Now you just give me your health card, if you got one. I'll see the nurse fills out the papers.
So I hand it over, and he sees that I'm UNC Blue Cross student plan, he says.
You go to the University of North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
What's your major?
English.
English. Did you quote any Shakespeare when that lure got a hold of your head?
Yes, sir, I did.
Well, what'd you say?
And I happen to remember the first thing that Romeo says about Juliet when he sees her at the ball. See how she hangs upon the cheek of night, like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. All right, let's go rolling some tackle boxes now. I went out fear fishing, bottle of mezcal I took, worked my way down to the worm and I put him on the hook. Now first I snagged a bluefish, I left him as bait for a big king mackerel I was willing to wait. To catch a king, Lord, I heard my buddy say, if you ever connect, well you better expect a reel for your meal today. To catch a kingfish, fight him and haul him in, spend your life looking for the thrill again. Whoa, 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 to catch a king, oh, a big old king. Now down at the end of the T-shaped pier, my reel suddenly winds. I holler at my buddies, put up $1 on what's at the end of the line. A bland bet's on a hammerhead, black bass, Dixon claim. Well, my dollar's down on the fish with the royal name. To catch a king, Lord, I heard my buddy say, if you ever connect, well, you better expect a reel for your meal today. To catch a kingfish, fight him and haul him in, spend your life looking for the thrill again. Yeah. Whoa, 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 to catch a king, oh, a big old king. Well, the fish dragged me down the pier, everybody had to lift their pole. Tried to snap the line on a piling Don, but I had too good of a hold. He was flipping like Mary Lou Retton, but my buddies gaffed him well. By then they had quit betting he was something else. But he was something else. Whoa, eyes the size of quarters, shaped like a 20-pound knife. Both arms to carry him to the cooler and I put him on ice. A good eating for my buddies and me, king steaks to go. I decided to forget the money they owed to catch a king. Lord, I heard my buddies say, if you ever connect, well, you better expect a reel for your meal today. To catch a kingfish, fight him and haul him in. Spend your life looking for the thrill again, yeah. Whoa, 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 to catch a king. Oh, a big old king to catch a king, yeah. Whoa, 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 to catch a king. Boys, I got a hold of that thing. Yeah. King, yeah. Whoa, 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 to catch a king. Years later, you know, that's still my biggest and best king mackerel. Of course, there has been a bluefish or two along the way.
Oh, yeah, Jim. You know, it sure feels good to catch a mess of those fish. Take them home to your baby.
It sure does, Bland.
Slam them in that smoker.
Smoker.
Out there on the deck.
On the deck.
Looking out over the water.
Over the water.
Wake up, darling. Sun shining on the sea. Fog's lifted, yonder's the shore. I do my best to put the world right at your feet. Hang the moon outside your door. Oh, I'm taking you down to home on the river. Taking you down to that great big old bay where nothing's forsaken and all is forgiven. Oh, love of my life, I want to lead you astray. When you found me, I was lonesome and terrified. Barely could speak your first name. But then you showed me the wonders of the world outside. Now I'm trying do the same. Oh, I'm taking you down to a home on the river. Taking you down to that great big old bay where nothing's forsaken and all is forgiven. Oh, love of my life, I want to lead you astray. There's no time like the present for testing the metal of love. Ain't no time like the future, my friend, to ponder the heavens above. Now there's a place in my heart where peace on earth is close at hand. You can go there with me, place where the live oak Spanish moss still command just as far as you can see. Oh, I'm taking you down to a home on the river. Taking you down to that great big old bay where nothing's forsaken and all is forgiven. Oh, love of my life, I want to lead you astray. Oh, love of my life, I want to lead you astray.
Ring, a ring, a ring, a ring, a ring, a ring.
Hello?
Simpson,
Dixon, where are you?
I'm down at the beach cottage, man. I'm gonna have a hurricane party.
Oh, that's great. Why don't I get Jim and we'll come on down?
Why don't you get Jim and come on down?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bland. What's up?
Listen, Dixon is down at his beach cottage. He's having a hurricane party. Let's go!
Yeah, he's got that big new widescreen TV. Hey, Bland, let's stop on the way down and pick up some beer.
Hey, Jim, let's stop on the way down, pick up some beer.
Hello? Hello?
Well, I sense a mighty storm. The air is getting moist, and the wind, it blows at my house, so it's creaking in the joist. But I got my friends around me right here, milling about. We're gonna have a party, we're gonna ride this thing out. Go on, let it rain, go on, let it rain. Well, I built this house my own self, and it will stand the strain. I've always wanted to be in the eye of a hurricane. Oh Lord,
Please go on and let it rain.
Lord, go on, let it rain.
Please go on and let it rain.
Go on, let it rain. Go on, let it rain.
I sense a mighty storm. Oh, there's lightning in the sky, and his wonders and his thunders are coming side by side. And that wind is bending hardwoods, look like they want to turn cartwheels. I'm gonna put some rocks in my pockets, go out and see how it feels. Go on, let it rain. So go on, let it rain.
Well, I built this house
Well,
my own self.
you did.
It will stand the strain.
I know it will.
I've always wanted to be in the eye of a hurricane. Oh Lord,
Please go on and let it rain.
Lord, go on, let it rain.
Please go on and let it rain.
Go on, let it rain. Go on, let it rain.
Yeah, Jim! I don't think these rocks in the pockets are gonna do the job! I don't think so either, Jim! Let's get back in the house!
Well, I sense a mighty storm. Oh, I made it back indoors, crawling on my belly like I was in a shooting war. Why, there's Kate cars flying around out there, barely made it across the lawn. Now I'm on my knees saying, please, please, let this house hold on.
It ain't gonna blow me away. No, it ain't gonna blow me away. Because I've realized it's time not to party but to pray. So get me out of this one, Jesus, and I'll serve you every day. Oh Lord,
Oh, please don't let it blow me away.
Lord, please don't let it blow.
Please don't let it blow me away.
Please don't let it, Lord. 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 So please don't blow me away. Please don't blow me away. Please don't blow me away. Please don't blow me away.
Blow me away. Don't you blow me away. Please. Blow me away now. Please. Blow me away. Please. Dune grass waving as I pass through, sea orts shuffle to my tune. Even the ocean is moved by me. I carried smoke for the Indians many centuries
first white child born, Virginia Dare. I caressed her little cheek and ruffled her hair. She and her party lost their place. I took the evidence, there was nothing left to trace. I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
and I'm always around. I might come from the ocean, come from the sound. I might bring the thunder, I might bring the rain. I just might turn into a hurricane. I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze. Oh yeah, I can bring the ocean through what was land. Wise men don't build no house upon the sand. But if you do, well, you gotta expect to feel me at midnight on the back of your neck. You know the spirits and everything that live can't be crowded out, something got to give. And when I feel that pressure grow, nothing tells me which way to blow. I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
and I'm always around. I might come from the ocean, come from the sound. I might bring a thunder, I might bring the rain. I just might turn into a hurricane. I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze. I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze.
The eye of the storm is still about 2.5 to 3 hours away. But all of a sudden, the winds have kicked up to 75 to 80 miles an hour.
I'm the breeze,
I'm the breeze,
and I'm always around. I might come from the ocean, come from the sound. I might bring a thunder, I might bring the rain, I just might turn into a hurricane. I'm the breeze, 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 I'm the breeze. Beautiful day, it's a beautiful day. You don't get too many this way. With the breeze and the sun, son of a gun, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It makes me wanna play and play, yeah. Play for love, heavens above. It's a beautiful day, yeah. Smile everywhere you look, everybody smile, yeah. It's going good. If it isn't going good, still it's better than it was, only if because it's a beautiful day. Lord have mercy, it's a beautiful day. Even you don't make too many this way. With the sky so blue, thank you for this beautiful day. Yeah, now smile. Well, everywhere you look, everybody smile, yeah. It's going good. If it isn't going good, still it's better than it was, only if because it's a beautiful day. Lord have mercy, it's a beautiful day. Even you don't make too many this way. With the sky so blue, thank you for this beautiful day. With the sky so blue, thank you for this beautiful day.
Boys, thank you for coming to my hurricane party.
Oh, it was rough, but we rode it out.
Place sure is a mess, though.
Oh, yeah. Worms everywhere.
There's a porpoise in the living room.
Well, what's that?
Whoa. That looks like one of those new prefabricated structures washing out to sea. Greedhead Villas Condo Clusters.
Bermuda bound.
You better get back down to Corn Cake. Help Miss Maddie dig out.
Yeah, right. Catch that midnight bus from Pettigrew Street. Anybody want to go?
Sign me up.
King-Mackerel and the blues are running all along the coast. Talk about fishing, you can't give the fish away. Everybody's lucky, October and the moon is coming, but the clouds won't give up the ghost. Oh, let the good weather hold one more day.
King Mackerel was made possible in part by generous support from Carolina Power and Light. They've got the power to lead. Vanguard Cellular One for the way you live and work. And viewers like you.
King-Mackerel and the blues are running all along the coast. Talk about fishing, you can't give the fish away. Everybody's lucky, October and the moon is coming, but the clouds won't give up the ghost. Oh, let the good weather hold one more day. Just one more day. Let the good weather hold. Let the good weather hold. Let the good weather hold. One more day.